The Supreme Court has finished its deliberations and has made it absolutely clear that it's rejecting Suella Braverman's appeal, and it's rejecting it on the basis that a similar appeal, a similar proposal with Rwanda, was set up with similar assurances, and they fell foul. And refugees were secretly shipped out of Rwanda into neighbouring countries where they faced refoulement. And therefore no amount of reassurances on paper, no amount of written agreements can obliterate the evidence of the UNHCR, the evidence presented by the UNHCR that Rwanda has been in this position before and failed the basic test between 2013 and 2018 when it had the same agreement with Israel. Now, Suella Braverman knew about that agreement. She followed that agreement, and she clearly hasn't done her homework. Priti Patel knew about that agreement. Priti Patel followed that agreement. Another person who didn't do their homework. These are two Home Secretaries who thought that they could power through this proposal on the strength of ideology and their character. They both failed. Absolutely. Listen to the ruling here.
The third matter raised is, in UNHCR's evidence, is Rwanda's failure to fulfill undertakings which it gave to the government of Israel under an agreement for the removal of asylum seekers from Israel to Rwanda, which operated between 2013 and 2018. In terms of the agreement, asylum seekers sent from Israel to Rwanda were to be allowed to claim asylum there, and there was an explicit undertaking by Rwanda to comply with the principle of non-refoulement. The agreement was therefore similar in those respects to Rwanda's agreement with the UK. Despite the terms of the agreement, asylum seekers who were sent to Rwanda by the Israeli government were routinely moved clandestinely to a neighbouring country from which they were liable to be refoulement. That evidence is not contradicted, and it raises a serious question as to whether the undertakings given by Rwanda under its agreement with the UK government can be relied on. As I've explained, the legal test which has to be applied in this case is whether there are substantial grounds for believing that asylum seekers sent to Rwanda would be at real risk of refoulement. In the light of the evidence which I have summarised, the Court of Appeal concluded that there were such grounds. We are unanimously of the view that they were entitled to reach that conclusion. Indeed, having been taken through the evidence ourselves, we agree with their conclusion. We accept the Home Secretary's submission that the Rwandan government entered into the agreement in good faith, and that the capacity of the Rwandan system to produce accurate and fair decisions can and will be built up. Nevertheless, asking ourselves whether there were substantial grounds for believing that a real risk of refoulement existed at the relevant time, we have concluded that there were. The changes needed to eliminate the risk of refoulement may be delivered in the future, but they have not been shown to be in place now. The Home Secretary's appeal is therefore dismissed.
Nothing, in other words, could be clearer. I don't see that the government has any chance of pushing through the Rwanda proposal, wasting more money on Rwanda, even if it were to leave the European Court of Human Rights. Even if it were to do that, that is not enough. And the preamble to this judgment was that there were many other international agreements which underpin the principle of refoulement and underpin the objection and the clear legal objection to the proposal for sending migrants to Rwanda. I think this could not be any clearer. It is without any form of equivocation. And it demonstrates that a lazy minister in a position of authority does extraordinary damage and costs us a huge amount of money. One only needs also to look at the extraordinary costs of putting migrants in hotels because Suella Braverman thinks that she should continue the hostile environment and the go slow of the Home Office that was set up by Theresa May. Suella Braverman, if you recall, not that long ago, demanded of her civil servants that they forego, that they abandon, that they cancel all plans for Christmas because they'll be working through the Christmas and the New Year holidays. I mean, when you look at the letter that she has sent to the Prime Minister and made public, when you look at that and the vengeful, spiteful, hateful, vicious language that she uses, the bullying language that she uses, the threats that she uses, I think it's perfectly understandable that the Home Office is in chaos and that the civil servants working there are on a go slow and are reluctant to do anything. I would be reluctant to work under that environment. What we need in the Home Office is somebody who can give firm direction without bullying the staff, without intimidating the staff, and who will work according to the law and according to the principles that underpin our nation.